In today's Leeds news, James Justin to Leeds, Ramazani exit, weekend Leeds results, Bakwa update and Tanaka injury issue. Morning folks, welcome back to The View for Monday morning the 25th of August with your Leeds United news. Bank holiday in the UK, I hope you're using it wisely. We have 1 week to go in the transfer window. Leeds are getting the last few bits and pieces done. One more sign to come in after James Justin. We'll talk about him in a second as well. If you'd like the Who's Falling Apart t-shirt, it's available there, and the links are down below in the description if you want to get your hands on one of those. We will start off today's news around a new player joining Leeds United. And late last night, we got the news that Leeds United's 10th signing of the summer was about to come through the door. Leeds United have agreed a deal with Leicester City for the signing of Leicester City's fullback and captain James Justin. The initial package is said to be an £8 million figure that has been rumoured to be the number for a while. The total package will also include £2 million worth of add-ons that will bring the total to £10 million should those add-ons be reached, which of course there's never a guarantee that will. So not exactly £10 million, £8 million with 2 add-ons should they be achieved. Justin can operate on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side fullback positions, so bringing in a useful, versatile fullback will add to the Leeds United squad. Last season, James Justin played 36 times for Leicester City, scored 2 goals and got 2 assists. And Justin's exactly what Leeds have been looking for in the back end of this window. A player coming into his peak years and who can operate on both fullback positions, giving Leeds real competition and cover for their fullbacks for the rest of this season. Justin had his medical over the weekend and is expected to be unveiled as a Leeds United player in the next couple of hours. You may even have seen it before you watch this video. This will now give Leeds United fullback Isaac Schmidt a chance to go and complete his move to Werder Bremen should that still be on the table, and that loan deal is rumoured to include an option to buy as well. Anyone worried about James Justin's fitness at this point can calm down and relax. His injury the week before last has now been confirmed as a dead leg. Leeds did stall on the move at that point until that was confirmed to just be a knock and nothing too serious. And Justin was past fit and available for this weekend's games for Leicester, but missed out as he was travelling to Thorpe Arch to do his medical and sign his paperwork with Leeds United. As we said on Friday, it would make sense for Leeds to try and get that one done over the weekend should they still have issue. They've done that, they got it done, and he didn't play any part in Leicester City's games, and he comes in. At his peak, James Justin was part of the Leicester City squad that finished 5th in the Premier League and qualified for European competition and picked up an England cap that season as well. So there's a very good player in there. If we can get him back to his absolute best, will be beneficial for Leeds United to have this season. But gives Leeds the cover with Premier League experience and lower half Premier League experience, which Leeds have said throughout this window they want to bring in a couple of players who are used to that, and they've done that with Sean Longstaff, James Justin and Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. So we wish him all the best when he does finally get a Leeds United shirt on him and take to the field, possibly even for the cup game this week, unless he's already been cup tied by Leicester, which I haven't checked. He might be. If not, we'll see if he's in the squad against Newcastle next weekend. Let's move on and talk about Larry Ramazani with Noah Okafor coming in last week, and Leeds expected to add at least one more attacking player, likely a wide player who can also operate as a 10. Larry Ramazani's short-term future at the club appears to be elsewhere. According to reports over the weekend, Leeds United and Valencia had been in talks around an exit of the player and a move to Spain, although initial reports did say that this was a loan move with an option to buy, and those reports have now been confirmed as being slightly wide of the mark. According to The Athletic this morning, they say that the loan between Leeds United and Valencia for Larry Ramazani has been described as a temporary switch, meaning there is no option to buy in this deal. The 24-year-old winger wasn't part of Leeds United's squad this weekend, with Jakob Bial and Noah Okafor coming onto the bench meant players had to drop off. Bial replaced the injured Ethan Ampadu, but there was a space needed for Noah Okafor. And what everybody else on that bench should also be mindful of the fact that Leeds do bring in initial one more player, maybe even 2 more players, and somebody else on that bench will likely fall off. And that's probably in line with most Premier League squads. You don't see every single player in every single squad every week. Players are rotated around and come in and come out, and Leeds will need that competition for all those places if they are to be reasonably successful this year and stay in the division. But Leeds' squad currently sits at 24 players, so Leeds can realistically bring in 1 more and register them in the current squad. But if they bring in 2, then likely someone else will move on and out of the squad completely. The other option Leeds have is to not register Alex Cairns and instead bring Rory Mahadi into the squad. He doesn't need a registration place because he's under 21 years of age and he does still qualify as a homegrown player. So that could be one. It's unlikely. It's a bit harsh on Alex Cairns. But that's all assuming Leeds bring in 2 more players after James Justin for that squad and no one else leaves. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be an interesting week. Nonetheless, there are a lot of exits expected to happen in the next 7 days around Elland Road. But let's move on and let's get into the weekend results for Leeds United. And Leeds under 21s lost 3-2 at home to Ipswich Town this weekend. Leeds goals came from Alfie Creswell and Harry Gray, but both players have now scored in back-to-back games for the under 21s, but sadly not enough to get the under 21s a win over the weekend. Leeds United under 18s had an impressive 4-0 win at home to Derby County. Goals in that game came from Logan White, Jacob Render, Will Firth and Callum Mills, and a really good result and well done to the under 18 lads. Leeds under 17s had a 3-0 win against Doncaster Rovers. The goals in that game came from Tom Stockton, who got 2 goals in that one, and Jack Morris added the third, so well done to under 17s. And the Leeds women beat Chester 2-0 away from home. The first goal in that game came from Alice Hughes converting from a corner, and the second came from the penalty spot as Amy Smith converted to give the women a good win over their weekend. Let's now move on and talk about the Dylan Bakwa situation. Over the weekend, reports came out from Sasha Tavaleri that suggested that Leeds were leading the race to sign Strasbourg right-sided winger Dylan Bakwa. Tavaleri said that Leeds were ready to meet the Strasbourg asking price of €35 million, and that's about £30 million. Not long after that, Sasha Tavaleri put out a second post that said that Nottingham Forest were now going head-to-head with Leeds and were matching Leeds' efforts to sign the winger. This morning, reports have come out that now suggest that all the reports about Leeds United's positioning on Dylan Bakwa are wide of the mark. According to Isaac Johnson in Leeds Life, he says that the suggestion that Leeds United are leading the transfer race for Bakwa appear to be a stretch. He goes on to say that things can change, but Strasbourg's £30 million asking price is a bit steep. In his article in Leeds Live, Isaac Johnson says the following: Leeds are interested in several options, including Dylan Bakwa. However, contacts close to Strasbourg outline that Nottingham Forest and Sunderland are further down the road in the transfer chase, and there are doubts over his desire to want to move to Elland Road. There has been a suggestion that much of the connections with Leeds is being drummed up by agents, though the Whites remain interested. If this is just a case of an active agent linking Leeds to the player in order to try and increase the price tag or increase interest in the player, then you're unlikely to see Dylan Bakwa turn up in a Leeds United shirt. Isaac Johnson, though, it should be pointed out, has been wrong in the past. Before Dominic Calvert-Lewin signed for Leeds, he said Leeds didn't have an interest in the player. 2 days later, he signed for Leeds United. However, I would say this: if it is a case that Johnson has got contacts on the Strasbourg side of this and they say that this is all just agent talks from Leeds' interest perspective, expect to see Bakwa turn up at Sunderland or Nottingham Forest. So regulate your emotions on that one, because according to Isaac Johnson, this is agent talk and Leeds are not leading any race to sign Dylan Bakwa. We'll see if that turns out to be correct or incorrect over the next couple of days, but that move is expected to move pretty quickly this week. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what other transfer targets Leeds are interested in and who these other options Leeds are looking at for that position. Let's move on. Let's talk about Tanaka. And Daniel Farke confirmed after the Arsenal game that Tanaka had picked up an MCL injury, but the hope is that it's not too serious. Last season, Leeds lost Ilya Gruev and Ethan Ampadu within 1 week of each other, both to injuries that kept both players sidelined for a considerable amount of time, and Leeds will be hoping that that isn't happening again this season without Tanaka and Ethan Ampadu. Tanaka went off in the 58th minute with the MCL issue, and Farkas said that there was a few concerns around this, but the fact that he had played on the knee was a positive sign moving forward. Tanaka is due to have a scan on that knee issue before Leeds decide what the next steps are. Further assessment is needed to find out the extent of that injury, but he's likely to miss the cup game this week against Sheffield Wednesday, which is not the end of the world. Likely to see Sean Longstaff come in for that game anyway, but we'll see where we go from there and his availability for Newcastle in the upcoming game next weekend. Fingers crossed that this is a minor one and he can return quickly and get through the Newcastle game and then maybe sit out the international break along with more players to give this squad a chance to actually start to bed in properly and get used to each other. I know we're all reacting to the Arsenal game at the weekend, but this squad needs time. It needs to gel. Same with the goalkeeper. A lot of people at this point last season were writing off Jayden Bogle, and look at the season he went on to have. It's very early days, and we should be giving all these players a chance to find their feet, find their place in a brand new country, get used to the language, the setting, the tempo, all of this. There's a huge amount of stuff that needs to be taken into consideration. We hope that they do. And we'll see what Leeds do this week. We will have a deadline day stream for the final hour on Monday. You can check that one out next Monday if you want to stick with us and have a little chat about the window. We'll have a podcast tonight to review the weekend's game against Arsenal. Myself, Paul and Jerry McNamee will be in to have the match review tonight at 7 p.m. on the channel live. If you're around and you want to catch us for that, you can join us there. Outside of that, if you want to support channel, links are all down below. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. See you tonight for the review. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.